Everyone thinks quitting an addiction is about just having more willpower. But if that were true, you and I wouldn't keep finding ourselves stuck in the same cycle, deleting the app, swearing off the habit, and then crawling back to it the very next day. Addiction today isn't just drugs or alcohol. It's binge-watching Netflix until 3 a.m., refreshing TikTok for hours, scrolling Instagram like a zombie, or gaming until your brain feels fried. We live in a world where everything is engineered to hijack our attention and keep us hooked. The result? Our focus, our energy, and our happiness are being drained, and most of us don't even realize it until we hit rock bottom. I used to think addictions were only for other people. But then I noticed I couldn't even sit down for dinner without putting on a YouTube video. I couldn't walk 5 minutes without checking my phone. I couldn't relax without some kind of stimulation, whether it was sugar, games, or endless scrolling. And that's when it hit me. I was addicted. Not to one thing, but to the entire cycle of instant gratification. Now here's the good news. Quitting any addiction doesn't require superhuman discipline. You don't need to become a monk, throw your phone in the ocean, or lock yourself away in a cave. You just need to understand how addiction really works in your brain, and once you do, you'll finally see how to break free. And that's what I'm about to give you. By the end of this video, you'll have a simple roadmap to quit any addiction, whether it's your phone, gaming, porn, alcohol, or even junk food. This isn't a theory. This is a battle-tested method that I and thousands of others have used to finally escape the cycle. And yes, you can learn the whole thing in less than 9 minutes. But before we dive into the how, let's answer the real question: why is it so hard to quit, even when we know it's destroying us? The reason quitting feels like an endless uphill battle isn't because you're weak. It's because you're fighting against the most powerful system in your body, your brain's reward system. Here's how it works. Whenever you do something pleasurable, like eating chocolate, playing video games, watching porn, or getting likes on Instagram, your brain releases a chemical called dopamine. This is the feel-good signal that tells your brain, hey, this is great. Do it again. But here's the problem. Dopamine doesn't just rise and stay there. It always falls back down. And when it falls, it doesn't return to normal. It dips below baseline. That dip is why, after binging your favorite show all night, you wake up feeling empty, unmotivated, and tired. It's why, after hours of gaming, the world outside your screen feels dull. It's why, after scrolling TikTok for just 10 minutes, you end up feeling drained, not satisfied. Your brain starts to crave another quick hit to bring dopamine back up. So you reach for another episode, another scroll, another snack, another shot. And the cycle repeats. The more you chase quick dopamine spikes, the more your baseline level drops. That's why activities that once brought you joy, like reading, walking outside, or spending time with friends, start to feel boring. Your brain has been rewired to crave instant, high-speed rewards. And here's the trap: addiction convinces you that you need the thing to feel good, but in reality, it's the very thing making you feel worse. The roller coaster keeps going higher and lower, until you don't even recognize yourself anymore. Now, most people stop here. They think, okay, so I'll just quit cold turkey. I'll delete the app. I'll throw out the cigarettes. I'll uninstall the game. And for a few days, it works. But then the cravings creep back in, stronger than ever. Why? Because quitting isn't just about removing bad habits. It's about rewiring your brain's dopamine system. Until you do that, you'll always feel pulled back into the cycle. So how do we actually rewire the brain and break free? That's where the real strategy begins. So now that you understand the trap, let's talk about the actual roadmap. If you want to quit any addiction, you need 3 things: awareness, replacement, and identity shift. Let's break them down. Step 1, awareness. You can't fix what you won't admit. Most people lie to themselves. They'll say, I just play games to relax, when in reality they're spending 8 hours a day yelling into a headset. Or, I only scroll TikTok to stay informed, when the truth is they can't go 10 minutes without pulling out their phone. The first step is being brutally honest with yourself. Ask, Is this habit controlling me? Do I feel worse after doing it? Am I losing hours of my life every day to it? If the answer is yes, then it's an addiction. And that awareness is powerful, because you've just taken it out of the shadows. Step 2, replacement. Here's the hard truth: you can't just delete an addiction and leave an empty hole. If you try to quit cold turkey with nothing to replace it, your brain will scream for dopamine and drag you back. The solution: replace it with something that gives slower, healthier dopamine. For example, instead of gaming, hit the gym. Instead of scrolling, pick up a book or start writing. Instead of drinking, go for a walk or call a friend. When I was addicted to gaming, I didn't just stop playing. I replaced it with working out. At first, it was uncomfortable. But then I noticed something: after every workout, I felt genuinely good. Not just for 10 minutes, but for the whole day. That slow dopamine started rewiring my brain. The key is not to quit, but to swap. Give your brain something else to feed on. Step 3, identity shift. Now here's the part most people miss. If you still see yourself as a gamer trying to quit or a smoker trying to quit, guess what? You'll always be pulled back. Why? Because your actions always match your identity. Instead, you need to adopt a new self-image. Not, I'm trying to quit, but, I'm the type of person who doesn't need this anymore. When I started seeing myself as someone who cared about health, fitness, and growth, gaming just didn't fit that picture anymore. It wasn't even about resisting, it just felt out of character. Think about it: a marathon runner doesn't crave cigarettes. Not because they're fighting willpower every day, but because they don't see themselves as a smoker. Their identity is stronger than the urge. So here's your formula: awareness, replacement, identity. It sounds simple, but together, it's how you break any cycle. But even with these steps, there's still a problem. Addictions are sneaky. They creep back in when you're stressed, lonely, or mentally drained. So the next part is about protecting your mental health so you don't fall back into the trap. So, you've got the roadmap: awareness, replacement, and identity. But here's the truth: quitting isn't a straight line. It's not like you'll wake up tomorrow, cut the habit, and never think about it again. Real growth is messy. And that's okay. The real battle isn't just quitting, it's protecting your mental health so you don't fall back into the loop. 1. Control your environment. Your environment shapes your behavior more than your willpower ever will. If you're trying to quit smoking but you've still got a pack in your drawer, you're setting yourself up to fail. If you're trying to stop scrolling TikTok, but your phone is on your desk buzzing every 2 minutes, good luck focusing. Here's a simple rule: if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. Delete the apps. Throw out the cigarettes. Move your gaming console into a closet. Make the bad habit hard to access, and the healthy habit easy to access. That tiny shift makes relapse 10x harder. 2. Manage stress without escaping. Most addictions are not about pleasure, they're about escape. People smoke, drink, binge watch, or scroll endlessly not because they love it, but because it's the fastest way to numb stress. Here's the problem: stress is inevitable. So if your only tool is escape, you'll always relapse. Instead, you need coping mechanisms that face stress head-on. That could be meditation, yes, even 5 minutes works. Journaling. Exercise. Talking it out with someone you trust. The goal isn't to erase stress, it's to process it instead of running from it. 3. Forgive relapse, don't feed it. Here's where most people completely sabotage themselves. They relapse once, smoke a cigarette, binge a show, drink again, and then they think, well, I already failed, might as well give up. That's the addiction to speaking. It wants you to believe that one mistake means you're back at zero. But it doesn't. Relapse is part of recovery. Think of it like learning to walk. You fall, you get back up. Nobody says, oh, I tripped once, I guess walking isn't for me. Here's the mindset shift: a relapse isn't failure. Failure is refusing to get back on track. So if you slip, don't punish yourself. Notice it, learn from it, and get right back to your replacement habit. 4. Track small wins. Your brain loves progress. But when you're quitting something, it often feels invisible. You might not notice the difference after one day, or even 1 week. That's why tracking matters. Keep a notebook, or even a simple note on your phone. Every day you go without the addiction, mark it down. When you hit 7 days, 14 days, 30 days, celebrate. Not with your old habit, but with something meaningful. Reward yourself for progress, and your brain will start associating quitting with pride instead of pain. Now, you've got the foundation. But here's the question: how do you reprogram your brain so the cravings lose their power altogether? That's what we'll cover in the next part. Up until now, we've been playing defense, replacing habits, controlling the environment, managing stress, tracking wins. But if you really want to be free from addiction, you need to go deeper. You need to reprogram your brain. Because addiction isn't just about what you do. It's about how your brain has been wired to chase quick dopamine hits. 1. Understand the dopamine loop. Your brain releases dopamine, the feel-good chemical, every time you do your addictive habit. But here's the trap: the dopamine you get is short-term and shallow. The more you repeat it, the more your brain expects it. And over time, your baseline happiness drops. That's why addicts feel worse when they're not doing the habit. The way out: you need to give your brain deeper, slower dopamine. That means activities that bring meaning, not just stimulation. Examples: learning a new skill, building something creative, physical exercise, spending time with people who matter. The brain rewires itself over time. If you feed it healthy dopamine, the cravings for cheap dopamine get weaker. 2. Visualization hack. Here's a tool I wish someone taught me earlier. Whenever you feel a craving, don't fight it head on. Instead, visualize the full movie of the habit. For example, if you crave smoking, don't just think about the first puff. Imagine the cough, the smell on your clothes, the health consequences years down the line. Your brain loves to imagine the start of pleasure, but it hates to imagine the end result. By playing the whole movie, you break the illusion that the habit is rewarding. 3. Anchor yourself with a why. Here's the truth: nobody quits successfully without a reason bigger than the craving. If your why is weak, like, I should probably stop, you won't last. But if your why is powerful, like, I want to be alive to see my kids grow up, or, I refuse to keep destroying my mental health, then the addiction loses power. Write your why somewhere you see daily. Repeat it when cravings hit. That reminder can carry you through the toughest moments. Addiction doesn't mean you're weak. It means your brain got tricked into valuing shortcuts over real living. But now, you have the tools: awareness, replacement, identity, resilience, and reprogramming. Quitting isn't about perfection, it's about direction. Every time you choose growth over craving, you win. And over time, those wins stack up until the addiction has no grip on you. So the question is, are you willing to give yourself 9 minutes, not forever, just 9 minutes, to change your life?